I tried to imitate a normal wood farm, but to my surprise this turned out to be a simpler one. So I've been working on a way to produce these in an automatic way. The first thing is that if we plant a fungus, each one that's in their corresponding nylon, this is the crimson and this is the warp one, that when applied bone meal, these turn into these trees. And actually they don't consume a lot of bone meal. The central part is like the trunk of a tree, or the stem of a fungus. And this is what we need to farm in order to turn it into wood. As to grow these automatically, the obvious way is to apply bone meal using a dispenser. But how do we generate the fungus? When we apply bone meal to the nylon block, there is a chance that nothing will be generated or we generate roots, but sometimes we do generate the fungus. Another problem is that when the fungus grows and the stem is left over the nylon long enough time, the nylon turns into netherrack. Well, a simple solution is to also place a dispenser here. To apply bone meal, considering the netherrack is just aside another nylon block. So the first farm I thought to do was this one, where here you will see this top dispenser that will apply bone meal to whatever grows over here, and one dispenser applying bone meal towards the nylon block. With a lot of iterations, there is an opportunity that the fungus will grow up. We turn on the machine and we see this happening, but the fungus appears with very low frequency. But what is the fungus production rate considering the quantity of bone meal we are using? So here you see this arrangement here for the experiment. For example, we will use 1 stack of bone meal and see how much fungus we produce. We turn it on and we will see that whatever grows here is being collected on the hopper. Mostly we have roots, but we have some fungi. Running the experiment a few times, we obtain this. I did the experiment 5 times, applying a stack of bone meal, and we obtained around 32, 35, 41 roots, and between 6 and 11 fungus, and some warp fungus. This isn't a very efficient farm, and it wastes a lot of bone meal. So we have 2 options. Option number 1 is having this automatic farm where we only have to turn it on and it produces its own fungus. And option number 2 is planting the fungus ourselves. It's going to spend less bone meal, it's going to be more efficient and faster. And since we only have to place the fungus, it can actually be an AFK farm. But first we must produce the fungus. So the solution is this. Here you will see this 5x5 space. If we come under here, you will see the dispenser facing up. Here we place the bone meal that will be applied to the nylon blocks, and it will produce roots and fungus. And then we have these pistons that move the blocks back and forth, and it is an imitation of the flower farm. We place some bone meal and flick the lever. In only a few seconds the stack of bone meal is spent, and what we obtained is this. And the results obtained is something like this. What's very interesting is that all these roots, we can compose them again to obtain more bone meal. So it is recommended, beside this fungus farm, to have one of these arrangements. And if we put in the roots we already produced, what we obtain approximately in bone meal is this. To obtain all this, we have to spend 64 bone meal, and composting the crimson roots, we obtain back this quantity of bone meal. Almost half. Of course we can do the same with our variety, and maybe you want to build this too, but of course we only need 1. The trick is to locate the central block over here, in the 5x5 area, and the block aside this part where the nylon blocks are protruded. We turn on the machine, we obtain the crimson products. If we replace these 2 blocks on the warp variety, now we obtain the warp products. What's interesting is that we can produce both, so we just have to replace one of the blocks. One is warped, the other is crimson. Now if we turn on the machine, we can see it produce both. So let's get back to our farm. This one is very unlike the first one, but it doesn't produce its own fungi. We have to plant it. So we just come to this chest, we take the fungi we need, and we place ourselves here. In this block, just behind the comparator, we just have to place the fungus on our hand, right click constantly, so we can plant continuously the fungus. And whenever a fungus tree grows, the pistons will push all the stems towards the area where they will be blown up by the TNT. That way all items fall over the collecting area and they get stored. Let's flick the lever and start to place the fungus. So when we are done, we turn off the machine and we come to a storage system. Here we can see mostly the stems. So I built this farm at the Nether because it seemed appropriate, but we can also build it on the overworld. So let's see this. This is exactly the same farm, but the advantage over the overworld that we can build this water collection system. That way we don't have to spend a lot in hoppers. This dispenser over here is going to provide us with new fungus each time a tree grows. This comparator is going to detect when the tree grows and is going to activate the dispenser, giving us a fungus. In case the fungus doesn't turn into a tree, the piston is going to break it, and since we are just beside it, we're going to collect the item. We can see that the wood is being collected down there. Now let's imagine that we want to collect the warp variety wood. We just come to the chest, take the fungus we need, and place all the rest on the dispenser that's going to provide us with the fungus. And of course we have to replace it with the correct variety of nylium. We turn on the machine and start to place the fungus. We just need about 10 items on our hand to start. So now we just have to constantly right click. And of course using the trick of F3 and T, we can let loose the mouse. And that way we can be completely AFK. Then finally we can come to the storage system and see whatever we've produced. So in case of the warp variety, we spent 938 bone meal, 332 fungus, but we produced 2373 stems in only 10 minutes and a few warp wart blocks. In the case of the Crimson variety, on the 10-minute test, we spent 998 bone meal, 357 fungus, and produced 2462 stems, plus a few extra products. Remember that this is the 10-minute test. In the following tables I will show you the projection for 1 hour of functioning. So let's start the tutorial. The first thing you need to know is that we need a volume of 11 by 19 of area by 28 blocks of height. The materials needed are the following, where we have some blocks. I prefer to use glass, some non-destructible blocks like obsidian, a luminous block, some redstone components, and here some components that mostly are for the collecting system and the TNT duplicators. Of course, I didn't design this, I found this on YouTube. I don't remember where I found them, but if you know who is the author, you can post it in the comments. So let's go. And here you will see some extra materials, where there are somewhat dispensable or consumables. So first you will see this hole here, where we place the stairs, some chests, as you see here, and a second line just over. And behind the chest, we're going to place the hoppers in order to fit them. 3, 3, and 3 on the back side, total of 9. In this area, you will see a block towards the right, which is 3 blocks from the border towards the stair. So we're going to place this scaffold like here, and build a stair to go to the top part of the machine. 6, like this. For the collecting system, we're going to place these markers here. For example, we're going to use this crying obsidian, a central one, and start placing our normal opaque blocks, 2 blocks high. This way we're going to make a lot just over here. $11 blocks and place a marker. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Like this. Then we're going to close off, reaching over these hoppers. Then we come to the back side and place a line over here. And then we're going to make these triangles opening like here, leaving this space. 4, 3, 2, 1, like this. Then we come to the sides, 5, then 5 blocks, then place the markers again. Finally, on the corners, we're going to place 2 water blocks. And any item that falls over here, we're going to come to a collecting system. Now let's go up here, place glass, the disperser facing up. Then this lamp, the lever, and here we can place the chest. Just in front of this dropper, we're going to place this shroom light and the nylon, 3 blocks like here. Over the shroom light, we're going to place the comparator, redstone. Here is where we're going to place our fungus in order for them to grow. So here we're going to build this platform here with glass. Then the dispensers face in this direction. One the nylon and one feeding where the fungus is going to grow. We remove this, then feed them with hoppers. And likewise in this side. Then we're going to place 2 double chests over here. Here and here. Now we're going to complete this glass platform. And just under these nylon blocks, we're going to place glass also. Going to place this observer here. And under here, an observer facing up. Facing towards this observer, a sticky piston. Here we're going to place a block, then some slabs, and just over here we're going to place some redstone. Redstone, fit into the piston. So when we flick the lever, we're going to activate the clock. Now let's finish up this platform with glass. So it's 2 blocks from the dispensers, and 2 blocks in this direction also. Then we come back here, towards the hoppers, and place glass also. 2 blocks from the dispenser also. So then we come to this side, and place 2 glass over here. So each time the fungus breaks with the dispenser, the items won't flow over here. Then we're going to place dispenser facing there. So let's build a column of scaffolds, 11 blocks tall. And place all the dispensers on a column facing there, making a total of 11. So let's go up, taking our obsidian. You can use normal obsidian, but I want to place this alternatively in order for us to count them. So we're going to end up just over here. Over this obsidian, we're going to leave 4 blocks of space. Coming up here, and building up a column of indestructible blocks. Finish up here. Then you will see this shape. Now we come here, leaving 1 block of space. And another block over there. So we place our scaffold over here. We're going to reach the height of this column over here. And then place obsidian here, 3 blocks. So here's where TNT is going to land. We come to the other side and do pretty much the same thing. When we reach this height, we're going to add 3 more. And we do the same. TNT is going to land over here, so this is the one designed to break the blocks on the top. So let's go over here, place 2 columns of scaffolds. And in a zigzag pattern, we're going to place these slabs. Fit in the pistons. Then placing redstone over here, including over here, over the glass. So we go all the way up. Placing redstone also. When we come here over the obsidian, we're going to place a dropper here, facing this direction. Then a dropper facing up. Over this dropper, another dropper facing on this direction. And over here, a hopper facing down. Then we drop an item over the hopper. You will see it inside here. Then here a comparator, redstone dust. Then we repeat this circuit here. This circuit is a flip-flop. So if we place 2, but this circuit is going to see that for each 4 signals, it's going to drop 1 TNT. Then a hopper, then the item, then a comparator, a repeater, and we're going to come over here to the final part. Place a column. On this first block we're going to place a block. Then here a slab. Redstone dust. Then we come and complete this column. And continue the zigzag. 2, 3. Place the redstone. 4. 5. Redstone, redstone. So we're going to see here 3 slabs in this direction. On the sides we place opaque blocks. Here a slab. Redstone on all 3 of them. So we come here and going to explain you how to build these TNT dupers. So we place the sticky piston. Then slime blocks. In this L shape. And another L shape over here. Like this. The same on the other side. L. L. Coral fan over here. It's going to dry up. Then a well. Under the well, TNT. Over this slime, we're going to place the texture rails. Then the minecarts. So we come here. And finish up the redstone connection. So we come under here and finish up the circuit, placing the slabs. We pick up this one. Redstone, here a comparator. Repeater. On the 4th tick. Then a block. Redstone. Fit in the comparator. To one of the sides. Then we come up, build a column. So we place another slab. Redstone, and we finally connect this to the column of pistons. Click the lever and make a test. Yep, so finally we're going to come and take our bone mill and feed up all the entire system. Like this. And when it is full, we're going to do the next. Now, the next part is optional, but I really wanted to do it. You're going to see here I have a configuration where we have glass panes zigzagging over candles. Something I want to do is that when the fungus grow up, all the blocks that look like leaves grow up. And I'm going to show you how to build this. So for example here we place some candles in a checkerboard pattern, and where we didn't put candles we put glass panes. And over the candles we place some more glass panes. Over the glass panes candles, and like this. Intercalating this all the way up. Imitating the previous farm. So now I'm going to show you, in case we don't do this, what is going to result. In this chest we're going to place everything we're going to need. The fungus, the nyliums, maybe some bone meal. And we come here. Take some fungus, we just need a few of them, and the rest of them go to the dispenser. Or dropper. This is the position we're going to take. Flick the lever. and start planting the fungus. F3 and T. And we're going to see that the farm is starting to produce. Let's turn it off and see the results. As you can see, we generated this overgrowth over here. And we have all these layers of the warp block. And we are going to see that these blocks is going to start to accumulate here. So just over this redstone we're going to place something. There is a possibility that a block generates over here and you will see that the redstone connection is lost. To avoid this, I recommend to place a glass pane here or any transparent block so that the redstone signal doesn't interrupt. So you can decide how you're going to build this. If you want to build these layers of glass panes or not. But you're going to see that the warp blocks start to generate. Well, this is the Netherwood farm. This has been BigBar161, and remember, I will be watching.